Congratulations for this fantastic award. When did it all start, this Food for Soul project? What do you remember about that?
Well, it started with a bit of a crazy idea back in 2013. That crazy idea actually turned into something that we opened during Expo, and it was a test to see if this idea could work on the ground, to see how many chefs would support us and how many volunteers we could get to serve meals. At the end of that Expo project, we saw that the project didn't need the name of fancy chefs behind it because the neighborhood had already taken on and was running this soup kitchen. So from there we thought, well, why don't we see if we can do this somewhere else in the world? And ever since 2016 we formed Food for Soul. It's a nonprofit and we're working to open as many as we can around the world.
Did you expect this overwhelming reaction? Like every chef wanted to, support you and be there in every city.
Yes, chefs, but also volunteers. I mean, what I was really surprised about, in Paris is a great example, so the fact that we're here, is that we are overbooked with volunteers. There's more volunteers than we will ever be able to put to service, and that means that there's a great interest in the public, not only to cook, but to serve, to be part of the restaurant industry without necessarily running a restaurant or being a waitress, and I think that's really important. That means that food has the power to change people's minds, and it has a very big cultural impact on a city. Well, I'm honored. I was just honored to be shortlisted, and I think we're among a generation of chefs and restaurateurs who are really readdressing issues that are important to the whole world, not just to the restaurant industry. Mm-hmm. And so to be part of that feels very special. To think that with our actions every day in the kitchen, we can make a small amount of change for good is a very powerful thought, and I hope that it encourages also chefs around the world to take on projects that are difficult, impossible, and fight for them. New projects, we're working on bringing this refectorio idea to the United States. It's very complicated. It's an Italian word, so not always easy to pronounce or to understand, but I think it really begins with respect and beauty and dignity for our guests and our diners, but also having respect for food that comes in. And there's so much food that's being thrown away that can be easily turned into a delicious meal in a welcoming atmosphere. We have some cities in mind. We've been scoping out different cities all across the United States, big cities, small cities, everywhere from Baltimore, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, New Orleans, and we'll see where we land. Where we find our happiest home, that's where we'll be.